Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on a Car Mechanics Simulator. Today we are going to be finally working on the Ford GT40s. Well, one of them in particular. We're going to build the offensive blue one because, well, it's offensive blue. So naturally we want to be building that one. Yeah, we're going to have a go with restoring these cars, see what it's like. The last vehicle we did, well, we kind of did the Bronco, was slightly cheaty I say it's slightly cheaty, it was build it for as cheap as possible. The previous kind of rebuild we did was the Mazda, the RX-3. It was actually a very, very simple restoration. I also love how, so to get the various bits of the bodywork, the way that the mods work, it kind of ends up changing the names of parts, changing bits. I saw a little bit with the hot rod and so on. But yeah, to get things like, for example, the exhaust here, there isn't this exhaust part in the game, or certainly doesn't count as an exhaust, so it's counted as a mirror in this case. To get it's a really neat little workaround to yeah, okay, it comes up slightly wrong when you hover over it, but yeah, interesting, clever little workaround to get things that you want. All right, let's get these wheels off of the vehicle. It's quite interestingly, well, I say interestingly, packaged engine that we have going on in this car. None of the game's vehicles have aside from the Clio V6 lookalike, none of the other vehicles have a mid-engine. Certainly there's no mid-mounted V8s as far as I'm aware. I think all of the big supercars all come with front-engine V8s. If I have remembered, I might be wrong. I apologise if I am wrong on that front, but yeah, I believe they are all front-engined. So yeah, it's an interesting way. I say interesting. It's a different way of doing suspension around here. It actually looks like this might be a kind of quite straightforward. Oh, we're going to lift the car up. Of course we do. Kind of quite straightforward work to be done on this end of the car. Doesn't look like we've got too much in the way. Like, we haven't got the big rear drive axles that we tend to have with all of the various components and so on. They're just not a thing on this car because it's kind of all bolting straight on to the engine, to the sort of chassis, to the frame around the engine. I also like the various details of the cars when they're showing up in this kind of ghost mode. Looks all of any sci-fi going on around there. Oh, hello suspension. We got a nice close-up of the suspension there. I'm not quite sure why, but apparently that was an important thing to be doing. Yeah, that's a lovely, straightforward strip out all of those rear parts there. Yeah, no real problems at all. I say no real problems. Not really even time-consuming either. All the rubber bushings, of course, will be. We can click on the right thing eventually. Will be taken out with that other stuff. Let's jump to the front. Let's have a look at what we have got to be working with here. Again, yeah, pretty much identical system. I don't know where the steering rack goes on this. It might not have. I say it might not have one. I don't quite know how it works with mod cars on here. Let's get rid of all of this guff. There is kind of a drive shaft that's doing a little bit of a weird thing over there. Oh well, I guess we're taking off the top bit now. Didn't mean to click on that, but never mind. We'll take it off in a wonky order if you want, game. That's fine by me. Let's get off that. Yeah, we gotta have a sway bar end link. Now, it might be that there are bits in here that, of course, are missing. Potentially, having just pulled all a load of stuff off. Yeah, there might be bits that are missing from me, getting this car from the junkyard. Yeah, this is a junkyard car. So yeah, it's possible there are some bits missing down here, or it's just might not have them positioned. That is slightly weird. And I think that the game is. The game requires the vehicle to have a drive shaft, otherwise it gets unhappy with it, and that's just kind of a drive shaft to nowhere. Never mind, we've got a magical drive. That's what it is, the magical drive GT40. Because again, there's no moment, as far as I'm aware, mods are having to kind of make do with the game's basic parts at the moment, and there is no mid-engined rear drive V8 for the for the car to be based upon, even loosely. So yeah, we're probably not quite gonna have the right sort of parts in certain places. Right, get all. Oh no, bugger. Bugger. Over this way, please. Back over there. We go. Let's get. We'll come into the engine in a minute. Okay, the engine, of course, will have to be dealt with. However, that is just not quite yet. Yeah, because we don't have any sort of cross-member, subframes, whatever you want to call it, to deal with on this one, or say to deal with it, not repairable. They're kind of there as the basic chassis of the car. So, yeah, that makes life a little bit easier for me in terms of a rebuild. Now, what I am going to do, and I bet what's really going to confuse... can I do this from down here? I was going to pull... crap, of course not. I was going to pull the gearbox out, and then I'm going to lift the engine out with the lifter so I can pull it apart on the stand, so I can rebuild it on the stand. It's a little bit easier to do. I suspect it's going to put the lifter at the front of the car, isn't it? It's not going to expect me to want to be lifting the engine out from the back. But nevertheless, we will give it a try. Hold on a second, did I just spot this had an engine head cover on one side? It does! What is this? It's only the first time I've ever seen a junkyard car... Wait, hold on. Other Ford, do you have engine head covers on you? You do not. No, as expected. That's the normal scenario to see there. Oh wait, hold on. What are these are they both supercharged? It might actually be both supercharged V8s. I do not know. Come here. Engine supercharged intake manifold. Indeed, they are. Awesome. Right, crane. Thankfully, you are already here. Move equipment. I want you by lifter C. Yeah, you are going to go to the front of the car. Not that it really matters, because we just go pull the engine out. Voila, then we have the engine in our bag, and we will just, casually carry it all the way over here and plonk. There we go. Perfect. Right. That is our engine. Yes, surprisingly complete. I do believe that is the first time we've had an engine come with a head cover from, certainly a V8, from the junkyard. Now, of course, I've got to get rid of that one there as well. It is a little easier in this particular engine, owing to the fact that it doesn't need a million different push rods to all be there to be complete. Still, though, to have had that much in one piece is surprising. God, that's almost good condition water pump that we just pulled out from this particular engine. Now, while I'm not going to do this as a kind of junkyard build and only use bits I can steal off cars and so on, I will use as many reclaimed parts as I can. Again, seeing as I came across two of these cars, it makes sense to try and use as many of the bits as I can between the two GT40s. I did actually have a look, speaking of junkyard builds, had a look around the junkyard before starting filming this, to see if I could find the bloody air scoop bits that I need for the hot rod. Could I find them? Well, yeah, I found two. Were they of any use? Nope, because they were both at like 12% condition. Not fun times. Not fun times at all. That was quite annoying, and then I couldn't find them again. So, yeah, we have got no real further in terms of completing the hot rod. The hot rod shall just sit there in that state forever, I think, until we finally find the right bits. I haven't even, because I still need to find another one to find a wheel to go on the front, or to get the tyre, that I need for the front. I still haven't got the right ones of those, so... yeah, that's still a while off being completed, sadly. It will happen eventually. I mean, I could just go spam search through the junkyard. I just can't be bothered at the moment to spam search my way through the junkyard. Can we get any of the... come on. I'd like to get at least a... no, fine, we'll go for that piston. Sure, you know what? And that one. We'll leave the stubborn bugger until last. There we go. That can come out as well. We're going to have to buy a few little bits and pieces. Nothing too terrible, though. And that will be the engine block. Completely stripped down, relatively simple on the way, in the way of stripping of parts down. What are those bits? There are some curiously rusty bits inside here. Is that stuff that has to be dealt with by this? Let's have a look, shall we? Car lifter C, maybe, I guess. Use equipment, yes. Aha, it was. Okay, that's cool. I've not actually seen mods do the kind of dirtying of the interior. I guess, okay, the interior probably wouldn't get rusty. However, that's quite cool. That is quite cool. So we'll take out... Alright, so this uses mostly Typhoon parts on it. That's fine by me. Do you have any... Oh, you haven't got any seats at all on you, so let's hope we can repair the ones that we have just pulled out of the vehicle. Didn't have any head... I've already pulled the headlights out. I think we pulled out most of the bits on this. Yeah. Right, okay, neither of these have any doors or windows of any sort. Who would have windows on their GT40 replica, honestly? And now we begin the long, arduous journey of spam-clicking our way through all of the parts and hope we don't break anything too much. Well, with most parts repaired, a couple of things went. Nothing, thankfully, on the two major side of... Oh, I say that. Nothing on the two major side of things, and... The engine block is beyond repair. Typical. Just bloody typical. I saw both the engine heads get repaired, so I know both of those are good, but the engine block is too broken. So immediately we have to go steal bits out of this car. Oh, crap. And I've got the... The annoying thing is, of course, to get the block out, I literally need to have everything else out. There is no quick, easy, cheaty way around it. I have to pull the entire engine apart. I'd have to do this one here from all inside the car. Thankfully, there is slightly less, I think, on this engine. It's quite largely incomplete. So I'm kind of okay with that, I guess. But typical. Really, I should have paid attention as I was pulling stuff out. Wow, the camshafts are pretty buggered in this one as well. Yeah, these two cars, not in the greatest of conditions, I'll be honest. We'll lift the damn thing up, don't we? Hopefully it's not got any rod bearings at the ends of stuff, so we can just pull all of the pistons straight out. Can we have a look from underneath here? Well, we can have a look. Do you have any bearings at all? Doesn't look like it. Fantastic, that works for me. Oh, let's get the drive shaft out as well. The drive shaft to nothingness. You can go away, we don't need that. I guess might as well have a closer look now, that's clear. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's got any rod bearings. Perfect. And we can steal you. And then cars will go back down again. Then we've got to steal pistons. Then we've got to get all the clutch and flywheel and all that guff out as well. I wasn't quite paying attention to how the condition parts were coming off the engine in. As I said, I broke probably 3 or 4 different parts in the repairing stage, but a lot of parts were repaired, but it's how many of the bits that came out are too badly broken to even be attempted to repair. That's probably the bigger question in all of this. Please tell me that my kind of vague quick look around the engine was correct and that nothing has any bearings. Looks like it was. Then we've got to lift you up again to get the crankshaft out. Wrong side, because I can't have two. I guess actually no, if I took the engine out of this, whether it'd let me put it on the engine stand when there's an engine already being worked on there. It is the same engine, but that'd probably confuse and upset things. So it might be a better idea not to try that one. Engine block. Ah, oh, no. That was 14%. I guess we're going to have an expensive time. I don't even have a V8 engine. It's not like I can go and steal it from something else either. I don't think I have anything. Oh, we can repair a trunk. That's about it. I don't think I can actually... No, none of the other cars I have got V8s in them. Well, I guess it's worth a try. Been a long time, actually. Been a real long time, especially with a donor car as well to work with, since I've had to buy an engine block. I don't even know what the last one was that I had to buy. 3,500. Well, it was 3,500. List price is 3,500, but some of the perks you get reduce the price of parts. I mean, I'd rather not have to spend the money, but you know, it's not like I don't have enough sitting on 86,000. Yeah, it's not exactly like it's too bad, really, over here. We don't have an alternator. Of course, we don't have an alternator. Why on earth would we have an alternator? That's another one of the mysterious parts that you never have on any of your engines. Hopefully we'll have enough. Between those two engines we should have enough pistons and piston rings. I know we lost a couple, but there should be enough. And that one there, and over here. For those of you who are wondering, perhaps you have not seen my car mechanic simulator stuff, etc. I have got a mod installed that allows me to repair anything, hence why I am able to repair various bits and pieces that you wouldn't normally be able to with this game. Realism-wise, yeah, perhaps not quite so much. Personally, though, I just find it's a more fun way to play. You reuse more parts rather than just going through countless bloody menus, buying bits. To me, it's a more entertaining way to play the game. Might not be the same for everybody else, but yeah, I kind of prefer this as a way of playing through. Let's go and stick all of this guff on the car. Engines still get mounted onto this stand quite strangely, but never mind. And then there'll be somewhere through all of the mess, there'll be the release bearing. Okay, do we have things like camshafts? I think we have 4. Surprisingly, we have got 4 recovered good condition camshafts. That's nice. We don't have anything in the way of coils. We might have repaired a couple of spark plugs, but not going to have enough for this. Have we got the belts? That is the question. Spark plug, yeah, oh, we have one good condition spark plug. It's fine, we're saved. We will have 1 working cylinder in all of this. Timing belts are good, timing cover is also good. We're probably not going to have enough idle rollers and that sort of guff. Crankshaft pulley, you are in good condition. That's nice. Water pump should have been hopefully repaired, and indeed it is. Now, the fun and games, that's repaired. The fun and games of the many idle roller. We have probably going to be too short of those. We have no idle rollers A's at all. None. None came with the car. So we need a couple more, 3 more B's, and 1 A, possibly more. Let's go and get 1 of those. 3 of those. We will need a coil, ignition coil. We will need 8 of you. We'll also need a couple of you. We will need some spark plugs. We're going to need 7 of these. We need an alternator. We will then be needing... is there V8 wires? No, of course not, because there's a coil. Doesn't have to worry about wires, do we? I'm an idiot. Idle roller A. I thought we're probably going to need a belt of some sort around these. I was going to say, I thought we had all of the bits from another car. We had a bunch of them, but we probably don't have the belt, because if we're missing idle roller A, I don't think it ever would have had... what else are we missing then from this? Oh, maybe it needs to have the supercharger on before it lets me put on the... what's it called? I guess that's not impossible. Engine head cover... Oh, we've got head cover A. Is that the one? Please tell me we repaired that. Ah, we did. Perfect. Yeah, maybe we need the supercharger and the supercharger pulley, etc. before we go and put the... What's it called? On. Right, spark plugs. Ooh, God, a little bit awkward to click on, but they can all go into this side and get the coils as well. Yeah, don't have any... Well, these would have, I guess, some sort of wires from them. It's kind of, yeah, it's all hidden under there, so don't worry about it. We need cover B. Cover B, head cover B, that's the one we want. We also want a supercharger V8. Yes, supercharge V8 serpentine belt, I would assume is what that's going to want then. Because it's not got an overhead valve supercharger like we have used in the past. So there we go. Is this the first? Probably don't have a throttle, will we? No. I'm trying to remember if this is the first supercharged modern V8 we would have worked on. Quite possibly. Oh Christ, we need another serpentine. We need a belt tensioner and we need another serpentine belt. It was serpentine belt A, V8, normal V8, I think. Let's hope. Serpentine belt B, V8, serpentine belt A. Because they're all belt B's. Belt A, there we go. V6, V8, V8. That one. Hopefully. Fingers crossed that'll be the one that we want. Fingers crossed that'll do the job. Belt tensioner on there, and there we go. Serpentine belt A. Perfect. That's all that done. Ah, we do need another bloody roller A. Typical. I should just stack up on these, but there we go. Head cover. Why are there two different engine head cover A's? One's more expensive than the other. Was one a engine head cover B V8? Engine head cover B V8. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. Will this one work? I mean, I'll take the cheaper one if it works. Yeah. There's no real distinguishing between the pair of those. That's a little bit on the more awkward side of doing things, but oh, there we go. It's a thing apparently. Right, ignition coils over this bit. Spark plugs. Come on. There we go. Little bit on the fiddly side. Did I buy an extra spark plug? I might have bought an extra spark. Oh no, the extra spark plug is a crappy one, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just miscounting stuff. Right, so that's in there. We will need 2 fuel rails. We'll also need 2 exhaust manifolds. While technically the exhaust manifolds won't be continued. Ooh, I assume it's direct injection ones we would have. I think that's what it said. Yeah, DI. While the exhaust manifolds aren't going to connect up to anything, again, I think it's just bits that the game wants the car to have. Throttle V8, yes, I want that bit to go on here. And then we are almost done with our engine. Let's have a quick check around. We need a fuel filter, we need an oil filter, and then the manifolds, which I don't think I bought. Nope, okay. Okay. Yeah, so far not too bad really with this vehicle. Having so much of the, I guess, vehicle chassis on on show and being aware of the suspension parts are connecting. They're not stuff that that I'm having to take out of the vehicle, which makes this much quicker and straightforward to pull apart and to put back together. There's just simply less moving parts, less bits that I need to deal with in this engine. Oh, and around over here. Oh, I need an oil pan, of course, because I never have. Oh, I say I need an oil pan. I need all of the bearings as well at the bottom. I know what I am doing. I am a complete professional. I wouldn't totally try to start the engine up. You wouldn't get very far, let's face it. Right, I don't want to click on that. I wanted to go, no, engine stand, that's what we want. You're going to do the weird, no, okay, so that time you are actually going to spin it the right way. Often it bloody resets itself, and I was trying to preempt it resetting itself, but no, that time it was happy to do things properly, because of course it was. Right, let's grab 8 of these. And then it will be crankshaft bearing cap, I think 3 normally. I might grab another one just to be on the safe side. If at the end of the day we've got too many, I'll just sell it and, you know, not really lose that much money. It's hardly like I am struggling for cash at the moment on this game. The Aston Martins turned out to be a real solid investment. restoring one of those. Definitely a good way to go. I was correct. I've remembered my engines slightly in how many bearings we need for what and where. God, many V8s have gone through this workshop. By far away the most common of the engines that turn up here. And one more bearing. And then we have just the oil pan to go. I think we're good. I think that was going to be it for the engine. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Things are going well. As far as the GT40 goes, this one that I am currently building is a replica GT40. Some people have said there is a proper GT40 that can turn up. You have to find it in the barns rather than in the scrapyard. I haven't seen one make an appearance, but there we go. Yeah, as you can see, this one here, GT40 Mark 1 replica. It is currently worth 4,200. It's not going to be worth the crazy amounts of money that we got for the Aston. It's not gonna do that. They also said that there was body. I don't know what the body condition bit was, but never mind. Let's go grab this engine off the crate. Oopsie. Engine stand. Take engine. And then let's go and stick it in the car. We'll see how much it's going to be worth. Install that into the car. There we go. Oh, come on, game. Stop freezing through your menus. Right, so there is our engine. It's now worth 27,000. It's yeah, it's certainly as of the moment the most powerful of the engines. There is a W12 floating around that's not kind of properly in the game yet, but yeah, this is a pretty beefy engine. At least we've got one of the gearbox survived all of that. Okay, we will leave that there for today, though. Work on the GT40 is actually coming along quite nicely. Got suspension to do, bodywork to do, and then it'll be ready to go. Yeah, not too much more to do on the Ford. It's a really cool car to work on. It's like a little bit different, and yeah, I'm liking. I'm loving these mods. I really am thoroughly enjoying these mods. As ever, that's the bugger. Get the window out of there. Found you. As ever, I shall link all the mods I've used in the description, so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.